we are going to see the arterial supply of the kidney. So the arterial supply to the kidney mainly arises by the renal artery, which is a branch of abdominal aorta. Here you can see the renal artery. It lies in front of the pelvis and behind the renal vein in the hilum of the kidney. At the hilum, or just before entering the hilum, it divides into two branches. One is the anterior branch, another one is the posterior branch. We can also call it as trunks, anterior trunk, and this is the anterior trunk, this is the posterior trunk. From the anterior trunk, mainly four segmental branches will arise. These are the 1, 2, 3 and 4. These are the four segmental branches. They are labeled as superior segmental branch, upper anterior segmental branch, middle anterior segmental branch, and inferior segmental branch. From the posterior trunk, you will have the posterior segmental branch. From each segmental arteries, lobar arteries will rise. You see, these are the examples of lobar arteries. Each lobar artery divides into interlobar arteries. Each lobar artery divides into two interlobar arteries. From the interlobar artery, when it passes in the renal columns, and after reaching the base of the pyramid, they form the arcuate artery, which adjacent arcuate arteries does not anastomose with each other. From the arcuate artery, you have the interlobular arteries. Interlobular arteries will arise, and that will be giving rise to the afferent arteriole of the glomerulus, and some arteries will supply the periphery of the kidney also. This is a section of the lobe of the kidney comprising of a cortical arch and the renal pyramid, which is a part of the lobe. Here on this side will be the renal column. You can see the lobar artery, then interlobar artery with the vein. Here you have the arcuate artery with the arcuate veins. Here you have the interlobular veins, arteries. For better understanding of the arterial supply, we have to look into detail, and we have to consider three types of glomerulus that lies in the cortical arches. One is the cortical glomerulus or superficial cortical glomerulus. Next one, deeper cortical glomerulus. Next one, juxtamedullary glomerulus. We will see one by one. So this is the, as you all know, this is the arcuate artery. This is the arcuate artery, and here is the interlobular arteries. From the interlobular artery, first we will see about the cortical glomerulus. What happens to the cortical glomerulus? So the interlobular artery arises in this fashion, and it supplies the cortical glomerulus, and then the efferent arteriole will leave the cortical glomerulus, and that will form a plexus around the proximal and distal convoluted tubule of the cortical nephron. That is known as the peritubular plexus. This arterial plexus is known as the peritubular plexus. From the peritubular plexus, the blood will be draining into the lobular veins, then it will be draining into arcuate veins, then it will be draining into interlobar veins, then it will be draining into lobar vein. That's all. This is known as the major arterial circle. Now we will go to the next glomerulus, that is the juxtamedullary glomerulus, which is lying close to the base of the pyramid. So here interlobular arteries, afferent arteriole, then forming the glomerulus, then it forms the efferent arteriole. This efferent arteriole will dip into the pyramid alongside of the loop of the Henle. This is the loop of Henle, and this is the efferent arteriole forming the straight tubules, or we can call it as arteriole rectae spuriae. Arteriole rectae spuriae, this one. And once forming the arteriole rectae spuriae, they return to the blood via venae rectae spuriae, then reaching the arcuate veins, then it will drain as we told earlier. This is the minor arterial circle. Some arteries, as we can see, directly emerges before forming the interlobar arteries. Some arteries will be forming directly from the arcuate arteries and will be dipping into the pyramid alongside of the loop of Henle, and that is known as arteria rectae virae, arteriole rectae virae, which is shown on over here. These are the major and minor arterial circle of the kidney, and third part will be the deeper cortical glomerulus. From the deeper cortical glomerulus, you can show the features of both from the cortical glomerulus and the juxtamedullary glomerulus. So we can see both the peritubular plexus and the arteriole venae rectae virae. We can see both. In some cases, the interlobular arteries will give direct branches to the peritubular plexus without forming the afferent arteriole to the glomerulus. Such arteries are known as Ludwig's arterioles. Ludwig's arterioles. That's all the major points about the arterial supply of the kidney.